Good morning Year 3 and welcome to Friday's English lesson, and today's learning objective is to summarise the main ideas from a text. So what does it mean to summarise? So to summarise means to give a brief explanation of the main points of a story. So let's have a go at summarising the War and Peas story. So on my screen you can see I have got some pictures that I've taken from the story. The first picture I've got here shows the poor king and he's looking quite sad and quite worried. So how could we summarise this part of the story? What sentence could we write giving a brief explanation of what is happening in this part? I could write something like, the poor king is worried as they have no food. So that's just a really brief explanation of that part of the story. And then I can look at my next picture. So my next picture is the picture of the poor king and the minister of food riding out to try and see if they can ask for some food from the neighbouring country. So what sentence could I write in order to give a brief summary of this part of the story? I could say something like, the king and the minister ride to the neighbouring country to ask for food for their people. So that would be my brief summary for that next part of the story. Can you use the pictures to help you summarise the rest of the story? So the types of words that you might have used to help you summarise could have been words like first, then, next, finally, and these are known as adverbs, and they're also known as time connectives, which you might recognise from when you used them when we were doing our explanation text work. And your summary might have sounded something like this. So your key event 2, so the picture of when the king and the minister go off to the neighbouring land to ask for food, could have been something simple like, then the king and the grocer decided to visit a nearby king for help. The next one would have been, next they entered the king's land and they were shocked by all the food that surrounded them. Immediately they were captured by big burly guards. So that's just a brief summary of what happens in the War and Peas story. Today, for your activity, I would like you to think about the fable The Hare and the Tortoise, or The Tortoise and the Hare, and I would like you to use the pictures to help you sequence the story and then add sentences to summarise. So for example, I've got the first picture there of the hare, and underneath I have written a brief sentence or to explain or summarise what is happening in that picture. So I've written, daily, the hare boasted about how fast he was. He made fun of the tortoise for being so slow. And then the next picture is of the tortoise and the hare, and I've just written a little sentence there to summarise it by saying, then the tortoise challenged hare to a race. The hare laughed at him. So I'm looking forward to seeing your summaries of the fable The Hare and the Tortoise. Make sure that you are using the adverbs to help you summarise the main parts of the story. So for example, on the screens I've got a word bank of adverbs, and they answer the question when, so it tells us when an action happens besides how long, how often. So here's some of the important adverbs of time. For example, already, before, last, then, next. Okay, so make sure that when you are writing your summary, you are using adverbs of time to help you summarise. When you have finished writing your summary, make sure you check your success criteria to ensure that you have met the learning objective. So you need to have summarised the main events in a story, you need to have used adverbs of time to link events together, and you need to use description and conjunctions. So to finish today's English lesson, I want you to just check that you have met the learning objective, and our learning objective was to summarise the main ideas from a text. I also want you to check the spellings of your adverbs and just ensure that they are all spelt correctly. So go through your writing and any adverbs that you have included in your summary, have a look, compare it to the word bank if you're not sure of the spelling, and make sure that it's correctly spelt. I look forward to seeing some of these Year 3. Brilliant work.